DBS Plays. Hey everybody, welcome back to DBS Plays. 2023 was when I started, at least. So today we're going to be playing some Rayman Origins, and this isn't going to be if I can successfully play this, this isn't going to be a DBS Plays some games. It's going to be just, DBS Plays. So I intend on playing through the main part of the game. I don't intend to play all the game, as in, not all the, There we go. Now, I think I've played a little bit of this before. I haven't really played, a whole lot. I don't know if the mouse is ever going to go away. Let's see. Delete file. How do I do? Oh, delete. Well, I guess that's how you do it. And luckily I can talk through these cutscenes because there's not really talking in the sense of regular sentences and stuff. Or, English, the only real language. No, I'm sorry. Man, this ran at 60 frames in, other on the console versions. Except for, Vita and 3DS. And I'll explain here soon why I decided to just go ahead and play this game instead of some of the other Rayman games first. It's got a lot of charmingness, got a lot of charm to this game. Because, yeah. This is a little before the LOL randoms, but also, before mainstream stuff started doing it. But it does somewhat have that art style of LOL random. Somewhat. Not the bean mouth stuff, but Oh no, we've been captured. Like in Rayman 2. That's a reference to Rayman 2. And of course you can read the yeah, you can read it yourself. Whee! Alright, well, let's go. Whee! Now the reason I'm deciding to play this one instead of starting out with the reason I'm playing this one and not Rayman's 1 through 3 first is, well, first of all, screw Rayman 1's difficulty. But I'm playing this one because I wanted to start I figured there's Batilla, however you say it. But I'm playing this one because I figure, it's a standalone sequel. It's not really a regular type. It's not the type of sequel that's yeah. Be prepared to hear this a lot. If you haven't already, if you haven't played it before. But, I figure it's it's a standalone sequel. It doesn't matter which one I play first, really. This one's called Rayman Origins because, well, it was originally going to be for like it was originally conceived as like an episodic like prequel to or reboot or something to, or you know, reboot in the sense of like you know. So basically, it's you don't have to have played the previous games to really, you know, have to understand the story here. There's kind of a story, but it's like it's not the main focus of the game. It's obviously not the main focus. Let's see. And of course, I'm playing the Steam version because, well, it's a little more convenient. I had to download it, but this game is like just a little over 2 gigs big, 2 or 3 gigs big. And I may explain it. I might explain it more once I get to Rayman Legends. Why I actually kind of prefer this one more than Legends. Why? Okay, but in any case, yeah, I'm sure me and Andrew will play this at some point on Masters of Playing Games X. But I really like this one, and I've kind of been debating, like, do I like this one? Well, other than just this one or Legends more, I've been kind of debating, like, do I like this more or Rayman 2 more? So I have a very soft spot for Rayman 2. But I think I might like this one more. Maybe. It kind of depends on my mood. Because when it comes to... well, I didn't get enough to get the medal, but oh well. Now, for me, I do not plan on 100%ing this game. I do not plan on 100%ing this game. Sylvester. Yeah. Well, he's the one who's making that kind of key noise in the background, or that kind of chain noise. So, but yeah, the reason... Let's go back to the tree. Yeah. I do like how they speak Pig Latin. Like that is a funny thing that they decided to have them speak Pig Latin. Let's play as Globox now. I'm gonna kind of do that thing where I play as the different characters for each, you know. He like says different things to them. Goth. This was very obviously inspired by, in case you haven't been able to tell, this was obviously very inspired by stuff like, by the success of like Super Mario, or New Super Mario Bros. With like, especially with the, you know, I want to, you know what, I want to go back and at least try and get the medal for the first level. I don't know if Steam has any, I don't know if Steam really has any, I don't know if Steam really has any, what am I trying to say here? Trophies for this one, or achievements? Whoa, okay. But yeah, I didn't see any. If they do, I didn't see where they were at. Oh, cool. You know, originally I didn't notice that like Globox was meant to be like a frog. I didn't really think about it. I thought he was just supposed to be a weird creature, which I don't think he's a straight up frog. I think he's just like a frog-like creature, is how they described him. Man, if only this were like the Vita version with a with a touchscreen, and I could, well, okay, they're gone. The Vita version actually had like special benefits to it. to being on Vita because it had the touchscreen. So that means you could they had a special abilities where you could just I didn't actually have to break those this time, but I feel like I could. Okay, you can't skip these. That's one problem with this game, is that there's a lot of stuff you can't really skip. A lot of stuff you can't really skip that feels like you should be able to skip them, but you can't. Let's see, but like, you know, like, let's see, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, I'm just, as per usual, I'm not really, I can't really talk all that well as I'm playing, but and I've already lost my train of thought on what I was talking about. Don't you love when that happens? I especially love it if I go back and edit it and I hear it and I'm like, well, you were talking about this, dang it. You know. Okay. I should be getting... Yeah. If I did my math right, and I sometimes do my math right, I should be getting to my goal. Yep. Let's see. But yeah, I think this one just... It's just the level design is what makes this one so good. It's not proof that... It's not like a case where people try to make argument about 2D Sonic versus 3D Sonic. This is like proof that, like... This isn't proof of like, oh, only 2D Rayman works. This is more proof that, like, if you do great level design, it doesn't matter what genre you do. It's you know... But, alright, well, I got the medal. But, yeah, I really enjoy this game, even by myself. I've played this a lot by myself. I'll go ahead and change to another character. I'll change to a Teensy. I guess I'll do that, and obviously if I run out of characters to change to, I'll just change it back to Rayman or something. But I figure it'd be nice to just kind of give this a try. Just, I mean, a lot of the characters, unless there's like very subtle differences, the characters are basically all play the same as Rayman, essentially. Just different looks and animations. And I will say, doing that as if I haven't played the game before. I will say that, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Classic, classic me. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, now this is charming the first few times to hear it, but it does get a little annoying after a while, especially if you have to like keep coming back because, you know, such an icon. This is, even though this is from 2011, this is like iconic music right here, iconic nostalgic music right here. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, I want to go back. I think I forgot something back here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this right here. Yeah. But yeah, the Vita version of Rayman Origins is like specially designed for the Vita. The frame rate isn't, you know, it's at 30 FPS, but it's cool. It's not like it's unplayable at that, you know, like that. Now, the one that feels a little more unplayable is Rayman Origins on the 3DS. That was not the best port of this game. That was quite possibly the weakest port of this game. I don't know. There may have been a mobile port. I don't remember. Ah, crap. Shoot, I forgot I needed to get that before it closed. Oh well. Again, I'm not gonna try to get absolutely everything in this game, in this playthrough, because it's kind of a Crash Bandicoot situation for me with that, with getting everything in this game, getting 100% where it's not quite Crash 4, but because it's actually manageable, but like. Crash, or it's more like the originals, where like getting them is just really like playing through it casually is all kinds of fun, but trying to get everything is absolutely annoying. And it also kind of works like Crash, where like it doesn't matter how many things you get. You have to get the certain number of things while in the level, or else you... Okay, so basically like in Crash, let's see. It's like those types of games where like you have to get a certain number of things, and there are more than enough for you to get those things, those collectibles, but it doesn't matter how many you get. Like if you go back, you have to get that same number of stuff again. You don't just like have it. Okay, basically, okay, let me put it this way. Rayman Origins works like Crash, where, you know, in Crash, if you go back and try to get all the boxes, you know, it doesn't matter if you got almost all the boxes and missed one, you have to go back and get them all again. You know, you have to go back and get them all again if you didn't get them already, or, you know. But Rayman Legends kind of works like... I'm really awful at explaining things today. Unless you already got it and I'm still explaining, you're like, okay, I get it. But, when you get a certain number of lums, there are enough to get your main goal. Like, I got to my main goal, and I could have got more. Oh, wow. Well, I just got a text from my sister. Ozzy Osbourne died. That sucks. I don't really listen to his music, but I don't know, he was a music legend. But yeah, he unfortunately passed away. But anyway, to get back on track, you know, that's unfortunate, but you know, that's not what I'm talking about here today. To get back on track, oh wow, already unlocked them, or unlocked 2 of them, huh? But anyway, to get back on track, whenever you get a certain number of lums in this game, it doesn't matter if you get almost enough. You have to start all over with getting all the enough lums to get by. And that can be annoying, given the fact that like that can be annoying with the fact that like you're trying to get the certain number of lums, and like you miss like 1 or 2, and you have to start all over, which kind of feels like the Crash Bandicoot box situation, where you miss one, you miss one, and you got to start all over. You know you have to start all over, so it's frustrating. Whereas in Rayman Legends, you, oh shoot. That's right. If you get hurt, you lose this coin. You have to survive with it without getting hurt. I think if you go through a door, you whoa! And of course, it's a situation where if you lose, if you lose a life, you lose the lums. It's one of those games too. At least Crash doesn't do that. But again, this is more so if you're trying to fully complete the game. This is more so if you like want to be a completionist for this game, which I have. I've gotten... I can't remember if I ever got all the trophies on the PS3 version. Or if I ever got the, but I know I at least got them all on, like, the 360 version. Oh, shoot. I'm a little out of practice. At least this one doesn't have lives. I think that's one thing that Rayman, original Rayman could have benefited from, was having unlimited lives. Now, it was a different time back then. I understand what they were going for back then, and why a lot of games used lives back then. But that's a game that would greatly benefit from it. And I think there was a mobile port of it that used to have that. That would have that, like, basically infinite lives. My only problem with that version was that it was a mobile version, like mobile phone version of the game. That was my only issue. I want to say probably might be the best version, the easiest version of Rayman, the original Rayman. I'd say what the best, what would probably be the easiest. Best way to play it on easy mode, basically, would have been the DSi version, which I luckily still have right at this moment. The DSi version had, like, it was just okay. You had more health. You had more. You had the option for way more health. Like, your standard health was like way more than like what the original one had. The original version of it had. Okay, let's see here. Ooh. Okay, well, that's good. That's a good strategy for, it's a good strategy for whenever you have to do the speed running thing or time trial. Which, yes, I have complete. Thankfully, this game doesn't have you go all the way to the end of the level to complete the level with, like, time trial. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's probably why they didn't want you to do that, really. But anyway, yeah. So going back to what I was saying earlier, yeah, this game, it works more like the Crash boxes. Well, okay, let me put it this way in comparison to Crash Bandicoot for both games. This one is more like Crash Bandicoot whenever you're trying to get all the lums. This one works more like the Crash Bandicoot boxes. The Rayman Legends works... Oh, that's cool. Rayman Legends works more like Crash Bandicoot Wampa Fruit. Where, and like Ratchet, and like something like Ratchet and Clank Bolts, where, you know, if you get so many and you still don't reach your goal, you do still have to get that many in the level, but it isn't completely useless. It's not like you just got them all for no reason. Like you know, it wasn't in vain. I should say, it wasn't all in vain. Just so, like, you got that many, but like you still have to get that many, so they were pointless. Now, obviously, in Crash, they don't work as currency. They work like, you know, in Crash games. At least the Crash games I play, they don't work like currency. They just work toward getting lives and stuff. Now, of course, Crash 4, because you have the option for infinite lives, it works like, it works more like, they... Let's see, ooh, okay. Yeah, see, in the Vita version, I could have been, like, you know... But anyway... Yeah, in Legends, they work like, you know, Ratchet and Clank bolts and all that stuff, sort of. I mean, you don't purchase things, it's just the more you get, the more things you unlock, or closer you get to unlocking certain things. Okay. So what is this? Okay. Well, I didn't get any things there. That was awkward. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. If I had gotten that, I would have gotten. You know what I mean. And like you can pop the enemy. There's actually a trophy on the Vita version if you get the if you pop, I think it's like if you pop so many enemies with the touchscreen, you get a trophy. Yeah. Now, I think the PS Vita version is single player only, as far as I know of. But luckily, this game, as you can see, it's not, let's see. It's not like a game where if you get, it's not a game where if you play by yourself, it's gonna feel like you have to play with other people. It's more like a game that, let's see. Now I'll play some of these other ones. Bubble Ray. Bubble Me Ray? Is that you? Is that you? Yeah, Glowbox Rayman. Let's see. Keep losing my train of thought. I feel like that's been getting a little more frequent in more recent years. Am I just getting old? Like, I've always had ADD, or I guess I've just had a lighter ADHD since they've kind of combined those now. I think they have. So I guess you could say I have ADHD, I just don't have much of the hyper stuff. I just get easily distracted by things and lose my train of thought. Yeah, I more easily lose my train of thought on a lot of things. It's just, it seems like it's been a little more frequent in recent years. But anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is I like this game. It might possibly be my favorite Rayman game. Possibly. It's just really well made. It's not because it's 2D and blah blah blah. It's because it's just a well made game. Wait. Well, I wanted to attack them and get a little more lums, but okay. I do like how this game essentially, like, puts together... Now, technically, if you want to get technical, this game actually has, like, Rayman and the other characters, they have less hit points than in the original Rayman. Like, even the original version of the original Rayman, he had, as a standard, he had 3 hit points. So like, in here, another Crash comparison, it works more like works more like Crash, where Crash only has 1 hit point, but if he has the masks, or in this game's case, the hearts, like the hearts essentially work like the masks, or like Aku Aku masks, except in this one you can only have one at a time. So, but you know, it's effectively the same thing. You just don't get the extra stuff. But what makes this game a whole lot easier than Legends, the whole lot easier than the original Rayman is, well, as you can tell, it's just the level design, and things are not quite as hard. The level design is built around, well, this is a co-op game for families, and so it's obviously going to be a lot easier. It's probably also one of those cases where things are probably at least a little bit easier with other people, but it's not like you have to. It's not like impossible. I've beaten this entire game. Cool. I've beaten this entire game like many times. I've 100%ed it like 2 or 3 times. Gotten absolutely everything 2 or 3 times. So it's not like it's impossible to do it without other people. It just might be, you know, easier with other people. But like, I think one criticism of both of these games is that like they don't have any option for online play, and it is a little questionable that even in 2011 and especially in like 2013 they didn't have an option for like playing online with other people with co-op and stuff. I think Legends has some sort of online mode with other people, playing with other people, but it's not like the regular game. Some kind of, I think it's a soccer game, yeah. But yeah, the game is, you know. But now it doesn't bother me personally because I barely ever play online. I barely ever play online with other people, even my friends. So it doesn't bother me personally that they don't have online play, but it is kind of questionable why they wouldn't have an option for online. My assumption is I don't know if Mario Bros has any kind of online play, or the new Super Mario Bros. Games like Mario Wonder. I don't know if any of them really have online play with other people in like the regular game. But you know. By the way, if you're gonna ask me which one I prefer, I am gonna say this one. I prefer Rayman Origins. I prefer Rayman Origins to the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and even Wonder, because it's just a lot more funner, a lot more interesting and stuff. I think I realized that with 2D Mario games. I thought about making a video about it sometime, but like I realized with 2D Mario games, they start out fun, but about halfway through, I want to say roughly halfway through, somewhere around that area, it feels like it just starts to get to a point where you're just like, so when is this going to be over now? Or when is this going to be over? So, I think that's my problem with most of the 2D Mario games. I feel like some of the older ones, like the original Super Mario Bros., benefited from having shorter levels. or you know, like I feel like it was. I mean, obviously it was due to limitations, but like it benefited from having not as many levels. Like you would think that that one, if I didn't like, if I thought that the other ones got repetitive and all that stuff, that you would think that I would think that about, especially about the original Super Mario Bros. But I don't. I'm not saying it's like my favorite Mario game or anything, but somehow I can enjoy it even more, like than some of the other 2D Mario games. I don't know what it is. Could be nostalgia. That could very well be a factor in that. Because I am nostalgic for the original Super Mario Bros. Because it wasn't the original it was the Game Boy Color version, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, that I started out with. But that might be the reason, because I grew up playing that. Off and on playing that. I don't see mushrooms. But, yeah. Yeah, I remember whenever I was playing this on, I remember playing a demo of this on the 360. The original version I got was the PS3 version, but this one is fun. This one's fun. And this is also one of the few games on like PS3, unlike a lot of the platforms, that don't require updates when you get the physical copies. They don't, I mean, like, there's not even, like, the version you get is the version you get. It was a completed game when you got it. What a novel concept, you know? I understand though, it's not always the developers, or most of the time it's not the developers as to why these games come out incomplete and they have like day one patches and stuff. It's because of the publishers. They want the games out yesterday, and even if the games aren't finished and they're crunched and like just put in an update sometime. Now, I don't want to get too far into this, but like right now, but I do kind of question sometimes how many of the horror stories of the development team that was working at some of these companies, how many of them are true, and how many of them are either fake or greatly exaggerated or taken out of context or missing a whole lot of detail. You know, that kind of deal. Because it does feel like online, it really feels like for every... I wouldn't be surprised if I already said this many times, but you know me, I'll repeat stuff. I don't know how many people are like... You know, how many are... Like, it seems like for online and stuff, for every story that's, like, real, there's like a greater number of either fake, greatly exaggerated, taken out of context, or leaving out detailed stories. Like, certain stories where they leave out details. Where it's like, you know... This, you know, it's possibly this other person could still be guilty, but how innocent is the person telling the story about, you know, yeah. How innocent are they? I don't know. There are some times where you just kind of have to use your gut instinct on what, and sometimes we get it wrong, but, you know. Because that's something I think about, is like, how much, because the problem with the fake stories is that it can sometimes be, there are a lot of times where it can be hard to tell which one is telling the complete truth. Who's telling the complete truth and who's just exaggerating to get attention and sympathy and possibly free money. You know, I mean, you never know. People get paid for certain things, so... Oh, shoot. This thing is gonna kill me. There could be some subtle differences with like Glowbox and stuff, because I mean technically I guess you could say his hitbox is bigger, maybe. Yeah, I guess you could say his hitbox is bigger. Okay. I don't really know why he wasn't jumping all that high there, but anyway, yeah, it feels like, by the way, you can't skip this. You can skip the parts like this that are like this in Rayman Legends. I think Rayman Legends has a lot of convenient stuff in it, more convenient than this game. But at some point I'll get to why I don't like it as much as this one. It's not that I don't like it at all. It's just other stuff that kind of brings down the experience. But anyway. Yeah, I just hope for... Like, it can kind of take away from the real stories that people tell about, like, their experiences, you know. Okay. But, yeah, it can kind of take away the experiences of, the real stories. It can kind of take away, like whenever someone's telling a... Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Getting on a subject here, this game definitely had way more teensies to play as than any other characters. I think Rayman and Glowbox only have, like... I want to say, like, oh, shoot. Okay, well, at least I got those. I want to say... Rayman and Glowbox only have, like, 3 or 4 skins in the whole game, whereas the teensies have, like, several. I think 200 is the one where you get the medal here, but, you know, again, I'm not worried about that for this playthrough. Yeah. I'm just worried about getting enough of these so that, like, I can progress through the game. I think you do have to get a certain number of these Electoon things to, yeah, free enough Electoons to progress through the story. I do like how this game combines elements of, like, each of the Rayman games from back in the day. From before this game. Let's see. Now these, of course... I'm gonna switch back to Rayman now. These, of course, are, you know, levels where you go through and... this is how you unlock the Land of the Living Dead. Now, Land of the Living Dead is a, it's hard. But it's for the people who know it's going to be a challenge. Like, you have to go through... You just about have to go through, like, do everything correctly. Get the right rhythm, basically. By the way, I like this music. It's silly. Now, these can get pretty hard. Again, I like how the optional... I like how the harder levels are optional. They're not, like, required to get through the game. This is also kind of a... This is, like, I guess preparing you for the fact that, like, Land of the Living Dead is going to be hard. I think Land of the Living Dead doesn't... Unless you go in different rooms, it doesn't have any checkpoints. Well, that is essentially what the checkpoints are in this game, or the room, you know, entering and exiting different rooms. Let's see, and I'll show you what it's like whenever you give him a tooth. Um, I know this kind of looks cheap, and so like the movement feels cheap, looks like cheap looking, but it also just works with like how it looks. And apparently, this is a kind of art style where they can like so they can add any kind of art, this kind of animation kind of engine where like. This is a kind of engine where, like, you know, it's easy. I think I read it was, like, easier to make these, I think. Like, make these games. Hi-ho Mosquito. Let's see. You know, it's so weird to believe that this game is almost, at this point in time, it's not quite, but it's getting really pretty darn close to being 14 years old. Just waiting for them to like all gather up like that. Yeah, pretty darn close to being 14 years old. Kind of weird to think about. Oh yeah, I can also suck them in and blow them dry. Yeah, again, like playing the Vita version of this game, I'd say is possibly the easiest version of this game. Because at least for single player. Again, I haven't really had that much experience with playing with people online multiplayer, but I've just kind of mostly done things on my own. It probably does make because you know, obviously, whenever you get enough, when each of you get lums, you know, it counts both of them towards the same goal. It might tout one of you as the winner, but you know. But it's a fun game. This is a fun game with friends and by yourself. And yes, I do wish they would make new Rayman games that weren't just mobile games. I do hope for a new, supposedly, this is at this point in time, supposedly they're working on a brand new AAA Rayman game. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but hopefully Ubisoft is not going to be Ubisoft about it. Hopefully they're going to learn their lesson. I don't know if they're going to have to die first before they, you know, the company's going to have to die, I mean, before they learn their lesson, which it'll be too late then, but I hope whoever, maybe someone will buy Ubi. Well, hasn't really worked out that well for a lot of these companies anyway. But at some point, hopefully, things will work out. We'll get a new Rayman game of our dreams, and you know, or at least a new Rayman game that we've been wanting. You know, that aren't just kind of sequels to this. I think I'll stop the recording after I get done with this one. It's kind of how I do things. Yeah, I know you can hold it, but you know. Yeah. And of course, if you use Glowbox while flying one of these things, it's actually Glowbox that like the Mosquito carries Glowbox. Okay. Oh yeah. I originally thought this was a woman bird, but it's actually a male bird. I think he wears like a crown, which I know female, you know, queens have crowns too, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it's a king. By the way, there's like no female I think there's like one female character that's playable in this game. But, let's see here. Yeah, there's like one playable female character in this game. And I think it's a... Unless it's just like a cross-dressing, you know, meant to be a cross-dressing, teensy. It's like a female teensy, and I think that's the only playable female in this game. Which they definitely added way more playable female characters in the next game. But anyway, folks, let's see. I think I'll quit here. And, folks, I will be right back. Alright, so thanks for watching, folks. You know, I never really did this. Never really looked at the options of PC version 4. But, folks, thanks for watching. And I will try to continue this if the game actually lets me. You know, if the recording and stuff is actually going to let me. But until then, folks, thanks for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe for more like this or any other types of videos that I make. And I thank you for watching. Have yourself a good day or night.